can't do this?
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a fucking comedy.
So funny. I love my funny show. The Bear is gritty and loud and chaotic and volatile and gut-wrenching, and it's hilarious. Recently and not recently there were TV awards, and both this and last year could make you think about renaming The Bear to The Butler, because that show cleaned up. All these awards raise some eyebrows, but not because the show isn't good, because the show is good and making your life stressed out or sad or whatever. It's winning awards in a comedy bracket. The show that tackles mental health while screaming in a way too dirty kitchen. No. This is not a comedy. This is a comedy. Ted Lasso should be in this category. This is goofs and gas. This is what the category is made for. Light-hearted fun that tackles depression, anxiety, loss, self-loathing, politics, abuse. And bloody footy, innit? Funny. What's the difference between Ted Lasso and The Bear? Ted Lasso is funny. Yeah, very good. But seriously. Okay, I'm being a little bit extra. Obviously, Ted Lasso has a much lighter-hearted tone. Or does it? Yeah, it does. I'd say Ted Lasso is brighter, more colorful. I'd say the soundtrack is stereotypically happier. It's being more obvious about what it is. It's standing there bollock naked saying, hey, look at me, I'm a comedy. Whereas The Bear's being a little more coy about it. By the way, I like both shows. This in no way is a highbrow versus lowbrow thing where I'm basically telling you that if you don't like The Bear or don't think it's funny, then you just didn't get it. Tone versus mood. These are two things that you create when creating something. I'd say tone is conveyed through techniques like cinematography, color grading, editing, and music. There can be a mixture across your story, but I'd say overall your tone should be consistent. It's like the vibe of your entire show as a whole. The mood is more like a you thing. That's how you are made to feel, scene to scene. It's what makes stuff interesting. The Bear is a dramedy, but even outside of that, dramas and comedies fluctuate your moods, or at least good ones do in my opinion. Things aren't just serious or funny or angry or sad forever because that's boring. That isn't life. You know, life flutters around. It's more subjective, and your mood may not be the intended mood of the director, but in my opinion, that can still be fine. It can open up interpretation, and in this sense, can allow you to find humor in any situation. There's this scene where Cousin is driving home. We know that his kid likes Taylor Swift. He went to see or already has taken them to a concert. I honestly don't remember, I'm sorry. We know he is going through change as a character. He has been working in a job where she started off hating and found humiliating, and has now found joy in it and the people he works with. This is the almost end and peak of that experience and his growth, and it culminates with him singing or him attempting to sing the lyrics of a Taylor Swift song at the top of his lungs in a car. Tonally, this show is dramatic. Realistically, it is grey. It's night at the moment in the scene. It's dark. The takes are long and the zoom-ins are common and slow. The mood of this scene to me though is like cathartic. It's like an exhale and it's fun. You could watch it and laugh. You could watch it and cry. Laughing because it's the payoff to an earlier setup. Crying because of the context of why he's singing it and how he knows the words. The show often allows you, whether it's the intention or not, I don't know, to feel how you want to feel throughout. I often watch The Bear and randomly chuckle to myself out of nowhere. And in moments where I know the show isn't aiming to make me do that. It's often midway through a long scene where something hectic or stressful or realistically ridiculous is happening, and I get jump scared by a little laugh of mine that I just want to let shine. Because the show has this great way of placing these people in very real feeling environments with very real problems, and the struggle of being deep into those daily problems is so unbelievably ridiculous or simultaneously relatable that you can't help but let out a little giggle at the characters for the situations they find themselves in. Basically, maybe I'm just mean or something, but I love seeing calm and angry. It's so funny. Outside of these happy, sad situational laughs, the show is also just serving up multiple straight up shits and gigs, mainly through Cousin. I'm pretty sure in season 1 they accidentally drugged a bunch of kids of Adderall or some shit. Like, this show has scenes that are straight up for humor.
What, are they fucking dead?
And Cousin is straight up just funny in general.
It's a fucking hot dog in a beef t-shirt. That shit is hilarious.
People making jokes at his expense.
Time out, all Uber. Thank you.
Grow up.
Surge
rates, fucko.
And his life making jokes at his expense. It's all just humorous to me. He's a bit of a petty, slightly problematic man-child. If he was real, would keep accidentally getting cancelled and then apologizing for it because he has got good intentions. But he is slightly behind the times. He is a little pathetic. You root for him without him really earning that off you. And he isn't ever really trying to be funny. Like some of the funniest people I knew growing up, they just weren't trying to be. Like, he doesn't hear how he sounds when he says stuff. You know, comedic and rehab darling John Mulaney is in the second season of the show, and he is great too, obviously doing a very different thing. But what can I say? I could listen to Cousin complain about road tax or just like read the dictionary and it would make me laugh. I'm not trying to convince you that anything in this show is funny or that anything needs to be explained in order to find it funny. But when it comes to you deciding what should be allowed to be in a funny category or not, it's like funny isn't anything. It's just really funny to me to sit there and go, not funny, why is that in there? It's like not like in chocolate entering a cake competition, a chocolate cake wins and you're not understanding how. It's people are, you know, it's different. People are different. Like, laughing's personal and unexplainable sometimes and random, and what's funny to someone may not be funny to someone else. Like, if you don't think the bear's funny, that's fine, but the bear thinks itself is funny. And as long as that's the case and it finds a big enough audience of people who agree, then I think you have a show that can sit in a comedy category and belong and win. Even if the show does also simultaneously grab me by the back of my head, push it through some dirt, spit on my face and say, cry boy, cry. Especially if how season 2 ended, that did break my sour little heart.